What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Road to William. I got a special guest on the show. We got Ashley from IB Ball and Basketball Show. What up, Ash? What you got?
What up? What up?
What you got to say to the people? What's new in the sports world? What's going on? What's going on with you? What's going on? Give us updates. People like to be nosy. Come on, what's going on?
Well, I just released a new video about Ice Cube having, some beef with the NBA. They're trying to stop the big three league from growing. So I
Mm-hmm.
just put that out.
Mm-hmm.
I have a WNBA song out. It's called WNBA. Put your W's up. Hey. And it's by Ashley. I be ballin'. You heard?
Shout out to Ice Cube in the Big Three. He's making big moves, and it's gonna be some pushback. I mean, when change comes. So, long as he keeps, pushing through it, it's gonna be bigger than what it is today. Long as he don't stop. That's the only key. It's the hardest part, but it's it's uh it's an important move. You got to keep going.
Yay, yay.
And what about the WNBA league? Is that done? Like, are they? How does that work? Because I know they play in the summer. That's their time.
Yeah, they just had their All-Star weekend. Now it's the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The playoffs are gonna start soon.
Okay.
That they end around August.
Okay.
They end well before the NBA plays.
And when does the NBA start? When do they start?
Like in October.
October. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all need to be on the lookout. Go watch her new video with the Ice Cube and go listen to her song with the music video.
Yay, yay.
Yeah.
So tell me, give me your point of view on it. There's gonna be spoilers if you haven't seen it. We're gonna give out our thoughts and opinions on it. But yeah, Ashley, let them know how you felt about the movie.
Oh, how I felt about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was brilliant. It was funny. It was innovative. I do like the science fiction type. I do like how because in today's age, it's all about conspiracy theories. So they put that in there, and I love it because everyone's having conspiracy theories. Also, people were having a conspiracy theory about Jamie Foxx being cloned. And then what do you know? They cloned Tyrone. So John Boyega, I think his name is. Excellent performance. I really like his acting. He started in like Attack the Block, and I like Imperial Dreams and all that. Jamie Foxx, he was the pimp, he was very funny. Yo-Yo, the prostitute, what's her name? It started with a T. She was brilliant in it. So the acting, the writing, the wardrobe, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the message was, people want to put you in your place and try to control you, but they want a part of you, right? But they don't want all of you. That's what I got from it, because it's like they cloned Tyrone, right? But at the same time, it's like we want to create our own image of you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. I enjoyed the movie as well. I saw Jamie in it. I'm like, it gotta be good because Jamie Foxx, any movie he's in, the movie's good. He's good in it. So you can't go wrong. But I also loved what I really loved about the music. What I mean, what I loved about the movie was the music. Um, and I said this on your channel when we reviewed Shooting Stars. Like the music was that was like perfect. I feel like if the music don't go with the movie, it's just gonna throw it. I just it has to match.
So,
It has to match. So yeah, I really like the music. I like the old jams. You know, I'm old school. I like hearing them old throwbacks. And it was crazy because it was almost they were giving you like the times they were in almost kind of seemed different slightly, like even toward the end of the movie where um the actual Tyrone, who was also cloned, he was in California. So, but when they shot at the end, it looked like he was like even in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like a modern day thing. Like, I don't know. One being all those dudes in the house, they acting like they ain't got no AC. The windows is covered. It's just in there chilling. Like people don't do that no more. Okay, people be like outside or like it don't be how it was set up at the end. But like even so, the beginning of the movie, it was like, what time are we in? Because either like some people are stuck in the old times where it's like there are some guys out here who walking around like looking like the pimps that was in this movie. There's some people walking around here right now look like James right now. So I was kind of confused because I'm like, it could be we in there, but it can't be too far because I'm like, are we in the 90s or are we in current times? Because a lot of things it wasn't, it didn't, not that it didn't make sense. I was just like still trying to figure out what time frame we're in. But then it's funny
they did
when I
it
was
on
thinking,
purpose.
yeah, but then it really confused me when they went into the house, that trap house, and then they see that elevator, and then it's like, okay, I really don't know what time we're in now. Like, I'm like, are we in the future? Like, where are we? Like, and so because me personally, I'm not going in that elevator. Like, it took guts for them all to go in there. One, because the first thing, a lot of times Black people are like, we not trying to go discover nothing. Like we're trying to go, what is that? I'm not trying to get trapped, stuck in that. But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just sipping in my cup.
Ooh,
But
and
but yeah, maybe they didn't put a time frame on it because sometimes they be like California 1998 or something. Maybe they want you to think like, hey, this has been happening everywhere
yeah,
in every state and every you know it's
no, I
happening in the 80s and the 90s or
and what made me get thrown off even more was when the original Tyrone, the old man, was in the basement, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I was like,
oh my
I think
goodness.
they kept throwing time in there without saying it, like because you're thinking, okay, they're just talking about maybe it is today's time, right? But then it's like you see him, you like he missed for decades. I'm like, what? What's going on? I'm like, his character looks so familiar to another character I've seen in either a show or a movie before. I don't know. Maybe it was from the Jamie Foxx show because he used to dress up all the time, different characters too on the show. But I'm just like, this guy one is creeping me out. Like, why are you just trapped in the basement duplicating yourself? Like, but but I think we do that. I think it was also a movie about self reflection of yourself, of like um and how sometimes you have to kill the old you that you used to do, like how you used to think, how you used to move in order to grow and move forward. Because just because it's the original Tyrone, that old man, like his way of thinking was old as well. Like you don't have to I don't know, you don't have to keep holding on to that hurt and make it prevent you from growing. Because even though he duplicated Tyrone, they the Tyrones were the same, even like mentally, and like they didn't have drive. They just moved on sadness and like just accepting their like what their reality is. And I think the Tyrone, which we gotta break down, like was who's the original? Like, are they're all duplicates, but that one decided, like, no, I'm not like the rest, even though you are made like them. Like, um, but yeah, more on your thoughts on Tyrone and the
You
other
know,
characters.
maybe this Tyrone, the one that was very curious, maybe he was the special one because maybe because he saw himself and they like so because Jamie Foxx character and Yo-Yo, they were like, yeah, you dead, you died, and he's like, what are you talking about? And then he actually saw himself,
Mm,
you know,
mm-hmm.
as a clone, and maybe that made him, have a spark in him.
Yeah, maybe that, like, because we saw that clone character in the bubble or in that fridge, whatever they want to call that freezer, and he was really upset by that. And I think it wasn't just I I think because I watched it twice, and so I really was like, he's not really mad at that clone. He's mad at the fact that he can just be replaced at a drop of a hat. Like no one really cares about who Tyrone is. Like they just care about filling space, you know. And
Hmm.
the guy, I forgot his name, but that white man that came out that truck really like, and it was in the music, it was in the pastor, it was like everybody in that whole area was duplicated. But even when the pastor was preaching, and I'm like, sometimes the preachers do be saying that stuff and it be hitting. They'll be saying something you going through at the moment. You like, and now are you copy and pasting it or are you really trying to let? Because in the church he was saying something like uh saying somebody died in a tragic way, and everybody like amen because everybody done know somebody that and it's just like, okay, now he playing a role, like he's repeating the same stuff because maybe well, he is a clone, but maybe that's the side effect. Like they just repeat the same thing, like because it's not really helping people what you're saying. You're just stating facts. You might as well just read the news article and everybody be like, amen, amen. Like, wait a minute. And the music was hitting. But when they started twerking in the church, I said, now my spirit won't allow this now. What are you? Because the music was bumping. And it was the way they listen to music. The music they listened to, the food they ate, like that chicken, and I felt it was giving. Are y'all telling us not to eat Popeyes? I was really confused. Like don't like. Yes, chicken is stereotypically known that Black people eat fried chicken. Like it was all the stereotypes. You know,
There are a lot of stereotypes.
yeah, a Black woman was looked down upon. She didn't have no say at all because when that guy came out the truck, he was like disregarding what she was saying. Like, so the Black woman is still, no matter what world you're in, she's still below everyone else. But Jamie Foxx, he looked really scared in that scene where that guy was just brainwashing everybody and telling them the truth of what was going on. Like, yeah, we're experimenting on y'all, but now y'all kind of getting out of hand. Like, how did you feel about that scene in the movie overall? Yeah.
You know, I feel like the white man, I shouldn't say, I don't want to
I'll
get
put his name.
canceled.
I'll put his name there. But
I don't want to get canceled, but it's like they're trying to control everything you do and everything you say and the way you do it, and it's like, and they think we're just irreplaceable. They think they can just take different pieces and parts of us and try to remake it and make it more white or more you know, acceptable to them. And I'm like, this is exactly, what the white man thinks and acts like. So they
Mm-hmm.
were putting a lot of truth in it
Mm-hmm.
while still making it, entertaining and funny. But
Yeah. Um. Oh, the guy from, I don't think you watched the show, but P Valley. He played that character of like the rival of Tyrone, like the other drug dealer in the neighborhood. And that's another thing that I noticed, that it gave almost like a Black Panther feel to it, in terms of two black men have to come together, or two black people have to come together and
right.
create a solution to like beat the system. Like if we come together, we can win. But it's harder to said than done, because a lot of times within our own community, black people don't like to talk out like serious issues. Like we could be like, what's your favorite shoe? Or what's your favorite food? What's your favorite movie? But when it comes to like, okay, how can we like work together and like overturn this system that's been working against us? It's a harder conversation, because everybody's in different places in their lives. Everybody don't view the same. And what makes it worse is, you know, you'll get infiltrated by different people to separate you. And I think, they had to overcome that, which is really hard, but they did it. And it proved that they did start waking up the world once they did that.
Yeah, and it proved that they do have the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can do it, but also it was like, I don't know if I believe you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but then they did believe him.
Mm-hmm. The old black man sitting outside the liquor store,
Oh,
he was
he
part of
knew
it.
everything.
He knew everything. He was outside. Like people overlook that old black man sitting outside the liquor store, because it's like it is a common thing you see, And but instead of him just being another guy on the corner, he was actually trying to like send him hints and wisdom when he was like asking for that drink, and so and he was saying certain things like straighter is greater. And eventually Tyrone was like, well, what does that mean? Because you keep saying that, and I just heard it on the TV. Like, you don't look like you even watch TV. How are you relating certain? And, later on it showed they was trying to perm Yo-Yo's hair to make it straight, but she had a wig on, so it wouldn't work. But I mean, he was like a token that gets overlooked too. But he's trying to. If you willing to talk to him, he might give you a gem. That's the only thing.
Right, right. You might want to stay away from the homeless guy
Mm-hmm.
because of stereotypes, but they do have some wisdom.
Yeah,
Also, the white man wasn't really trying to kill the homeless guy because the white man probably was like, well, you're no one important. You're just a bum on the corner. But he did end up helping them. You know, it was sort of like in code, and it's kind of how you got to talk sometimes. You can't, people listening. So you gotta break it down in code.
speaking of code, there was a code in the movie, and because they kept saying Olympia Black, and I'm like, am I uncultured? Like, what does that even mean? But so I looked up the meaning behind Olympia Black, and which one? Let me make sure. So I got this from thrilling.com, and I'll give you a little bit of what they said. So they said the meaning behind the code word Olympia Black. The phrase Olympia Black from the movie They Clone Tyrone carries a lot of deeper meanings. Simply put, it refers to a clone black person being fully controlled. And it also is a way of reflecting racial issues in America's history in today's world. Olympia is the capital of Washington State, a place of power and decision making. It has a complicated history regarding race, much like many places in America. When Olympia Black is used in the movie, it points out how society and those in power have often tried to control Black people. Uh, let's see. So yeah, I guess, that's a way of them kind of code talking to each other. Like, we gotta wake up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um.
That's deep. They are trying to control us.
Mhm.
What they put in our environments, what they don't put in our environments,
Mhm. Yeah.
the opportunities, the educational opportunities,
Mhm.
the job opportunities,
Mhm.
the prison system, the cops. Oh, I could go on and on.
Um. Another slight one, a slight not stereotype, but another thing they put in the movie where, okay, remember in the beginning, Tyrone had an issue with, the little kid. First off, the little kid was funny. He was just giving out. His whole job was to make sure you knew a SpongeBob reference, and I appreciate that. And but when the kid was like, "This who been on your block," and so the rival guy basically got shot in the leg. And Tyrone said before he left him there, he said something like, "Kiss your ball dreams goodbye," or something like that. So I guess he was in, I don't know if he played basketball or baseball or what sport he played, but basically he said, "Your dreams are over." And that's another thing that happens too, where a lot of times, uh, and I hate when people say this when they be like, "Oh, for black people, it's more than sports and music we can do. We can be doctors, lawyers." Okay, yeah, we can, but we could also be that too. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be in sports or music if that's what you truly love to do. So I just wanted to put that out there. But also, when Tyrone said like your dreams are gone, like we all know how that can be like detrimental to somebody's life. Like that could be something they've been working hard toward. And I know you watch a lot of documentaries on basketball specifically and other sports, and it's just like you work so hard to, you do want to take care of your family. That is the first goal. You do want to get out of your environment and be better and do better. And if something like tragic happens while you trying to make money until your dream pops off, you know what I mean? Whether people view it right or wrong, like he was trying to make money to make his dreams go, but now he got to stick. It's almost like, well, they did. The system knew stuff like that would happen. How can we not further somebody's future? So let's put them
Right.
in a situation where, uh, the kid did drink the juice. That was a little Capri Sun, and the juice referenced in the movie about like if you drinking that juice, you kind of like you're feeding into our plan, like, so the kid drinking that juice is navigating, even though he's an innocent kid, he reminds Tyrone of his little brother. It's almost like they knew how to get to Tyrone to get to that, and so
Right.
um they say I'm running out. Okay, we got 10 minutes, but I can redo it. But basically, like, um what I was basically saying, uh
It's all connected.
it's all connected because they knew, okay, Tyrone don't want nobody on his block. Boom, we gonna have him. It was expected, and then they knew how the retaliation. Now we got someone less off the street, but it's okay. We can reclone and keep this thing. But what do you think was the purpose of the movie at the end of the day?
I think the purpose of the movie was the first of all, like you said, they didn't put a specific time on it because it's been happening to black people and it's a constant cycle. So it's like, oh, if you first of all, what ended up happening was they ended up helping their neighborhood, right? But they had to discover the secrets and then they had to band together. But then there's another Tyrone in there. So it's almost like we still got work to do because we only helped one neighborhood, but they're doing it all over. And I just feel like it's about the white man trying to control the blacks. And it's a system and it's a cycle. And how are we going to stop this cycle?
Yep. and the key is coming together. But they know everybody. Like we over here, people are on the internet arguing about why Kiki Palmer boyfriend put some on Instagram. That's why we're not where we're at. That's why we can't discover certain stuff. Like you said, you said you was watching CNN. They said something about Joe Biden's dog, and you said, "Why is that even on the news?" Right? And it's just
Yeah,
like,
I said, what in the world?
and it's just like it's so many things that we could focus on and really talk some stuff out, but we can't because everybody's mind is everywhere. Um, but that is the key, you know. That is the key. I think this was a great film. Uh, Shout out to Macro. They like helped funded this film. He's a black man CEO. Shout out to him. He was just on the Breakfast Club. They were talking a little bit about you know this movie. Shout out to the actors, actresses, everybody in this film that played a part. I'm irritated that it was white people with afros, but okay. But
Oh yeah, that's
we're
crazy.
gonna we're gonna we already know how we feel about that. Uh, but yeah, I think it was a really good film, and it takes not giving up once again. Um, Not giving up. Like they could have just been like, all right, our hood is good. Like we ain't got to worry about long as our hood good. But they're like, Yo was like, nah, let's do this worldwide. So I mean, I think it could be another movie that come out. It could be another one. It could, they clone Tyrone too. It could be anything. And I liked how shout out to Erica Badu. They kind of had her remake Tyrone at the end of the
That's
song.
that's dope. Clone Tyrone.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else you want to say about the movie They Clone Tyrone?
Go watch it on Netflix. Boost the algorithms
Yes,
because that's a thing.
it is.
But yeah, I was very excited about the movie. I thought it was very well done. It could remind you of like Get Out and um what's that other black movie? Um Sorry, Sorry Brother or something.
Sorry to bother
Sorry to
you.
bother you. Yeah, yeah.
I think
It was a good movie. It reminded you of that type of movie. And I love these type of black movies. We need to make more of them.
yes, I agree. But thanks again for coming on the show. We can do Survival of the Fittest next if you got time. But
Survival of the thickest.
thickest. I'm gonna close this one out so it can refresh because it's already like you got 5 minutes left. But I'm gonna just resend a different link so it can start over. But
Okay, cool.
yeah, go watch this film. Really good film, really good music, really good actors, actresses. Everybody in the film did their thing. We want to keep seeing more movies like this. I know we're on a writer's strike. Everybody's on strike now, but pay them what they're worth. Everybody got to eat. Everybody,
Pay 'em.
and everybody's been putting in hard work. Like, yeah, go ahead and watch this for the culture.
For the culture.